Hello, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome to the Arrowhead Kingdom Chiefs cast live from the Wolf Den.
He's Chris, and I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking about the NFL regular season.
He forgot who he was.
All Chiefs fans are invited to join us for a game day. Visit arrowheadkingdom.org to learn more about the group and find your local chapter. We're totally not re-recording this.
But
please
keep
do make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We're presented by Complete Weddings and Events, your leading provider of photo, video, DJ, photo booth, lighting, and coordination services. Visit them at completewedo.com. And I will point out right now, I am wearing a Diamond Dallas Page shirt. I don't know why that's relevant, but just thought I'd throw that out.
All right.
Chris, I could see the loading wheel that you have on YouTube videos whenever it's trying to load data or content. That was on your forehead when you were trying to remember your name.
That's kind of perfect.
All right. So,
my gosh.
Yeah, like Chris said, today we're going to be talking about the Chiefs.
Yeah, we're talking Chiefs, right?
All right, so we're going to do something we don't normally do and be very clear about the timing for when we're recording this. We are recording this in the evening at in the evening time frame on September 8th, 2022, and that day is notable for two reasons. First of all, this is the opening day of the NFL season, so all this reflection you see behind me is the game that I'm going to be watching when I'm, only half paying attention to these guys, which is how I handle most of my video calls.
Smart. Yeah.
The other thing, we'll start out on a somber note, and I understand Brian made this comment right before we started. This is three guys from the Midwest, but I think that we have to start out by talking about the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, and how she passed away today.
Yeah, big news. That is a big one. That is global, worldwide stuff right there.
Exactly. I mean, it is global and it's worldwide. I mean, this is a leader of one of the free countries in the world, so there's something notable from that. But for me, this actually hit me a little harder than I kind of expected that it would, and I think a lot of it is just based on how many friends that I have that are either from England or the UK or something like that, or have a lot of ties, just based on the amount of British Premier League, English Premier League soccer that I watch. So, I found myself connecting with more people than I probably would have pictured doing. So in any event, RIP Queen Elizabeth, and looking forward to King Charles the third. I don't want to say congratulations, because this isn't a good thing when you take that over, and feel bad for him because he lost his mom, and the next king in waiting is his son William, and he lost his grandmother. So thinking about the royal family and anybody from the UK today.
Yeah, it's a big one. I will say I was being kind of because obviously it's a serious thing for it is a serious thing. It's the monarchy, right? And it's global. But I was thinking about King, what's his name again? Charles. Now Charles. King, we'll see, whatever it is. King elect is not quite sworn in yet. I don't know how it works. But I was thinking, because he is kind of old, like if he's quite up there in age, and he finally got to be king. So I didn't know like if she was going to outlive him at some point. And the whole around the house, whenever I got the news, I was thinking about Simba singing I Just Can't Wait to Be King. But I was doing it in an old man voice. It's like, I just can't wait to be king. And that's what I was thinking about when I first thought of King, what's his face, Charles. But hey, my thoughts and prayers go out to the royal family, and was it long live the king? Is that what they say over there?
No, God save the queen. So I think they changed it to God save the king, and I believe London Bridge has fallen as the proper term when a monarch dies and stuff like that. So,
right.
I was talking to Misty earlier today, and so in some ways Charles is the king right now, but in other ways there's certain things that he can't do, such as wear a crown until he has official coronation, which that could be up to a year from now. I think that he has some kind of personal stuff, including grieving for his mom, to do before they figure any of that out. But so in any event, world change today. Chris, anything to add to this?
No, I mean, 70 years, that was one hell of a run.
Heck of a run. Yeah, that's
absolutely.
And it's gosh, what 70 years? Is that what I heard?
70 years. Yeah.
So what, 1950 something? Not yet on the moon. She was
1956 is when her father, was it King George the Sixth?
Wow. Geez, our parents were born in the mid 50s, I bet you.
Yeah. So did you
mine
guys see
were.
the King's speech?
I did. Yeah. Well, he cusses a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, yeah, but so King George the Sixth, the character that Colin Firth plays, was the king, and that's Queen Elizabeth's father.
Oh.
And so she took over when he died at a fairly young age. I think he was 56.
Yeah, that's a baby.
Yeah, but so in any event, yeah. But that was her that was her dad. And so she took over at a very young age when he passed away, and sat there forever. So
yeah, that was a long
hopefully we get a long, reign from King Charles III, but the reality is we're probably going to be seeing King William sooner than later.
Yeah. Yeah. King Charles, King Chuck.
Yeah.
Call him that. Or King better than King Ralph, right? Remember King Ralph?
Yeah. That was a John
King
Goodman
Ralph,
movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Burger King,
bowling.
yeah.
Yeah, I was bowling in the thing with the vase and broke it. That was funny.
Yeah.
Funny movie. Or was it? I don't know. I need to go back and watch these films from our childhood and see how they hold up.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So anyway, let's go on to the sports stuff. KU, the football school.
Whoa.
Are we interested in talking about that? I know in a lot of ways it's way too early to get excited about anything with the college football season, but I couldn't help it because I can't remember the last time that I saw KU beat anybody like that.
Well, and also, I mean, I saw this great thing on Twitter. They go, KU has beaten the spread 4 games in a row. Like they only lost to West Virginia last year by like I think one score. And they were actually they were playing tied against TCU. They were playing tied against West Virginia. They beat Texas. Yeah, and even like put up a little bit of Texas Tech had no problem handling. But yeah, they put up some fight. They put up some fights. And they said like consecutively, like 4 games in a row, beat the spread. Like, okay, what we got here? Well, looks like we got a little something going here.
Let's make sure that we're being somewhat tempered. That when you're favored to get beaten by 2 touchdowns, beating the spread, we need to have a little bit of context. But I mean, what that does say, just to build on what you're saying, what that does say is that it's a trend towards being competitive, which is the first step before you're good, which means that they might be a competent team.
That would, you know what? I will take competence. I will take that. I want it to look like how the other schools look. I want it to be, I don't want to expect a 4 and out or a 3 and out all the time. I just expect that to be what's going. I just want move it in the right direction, and we all know the reality of the situation, but it's like, I remember every time I watch a game for the last, I don't know, 8 years, 7 years, whatever it is, the way I watch KU football is like, okay, this is the snap where it all turns around. And I've been saying that every snap for the last 7 years.
There you go. So what I think we can say without a doubt is that a month from now, we're going to know exactly what we have. Because the next 3 games on their schedule, this Saturday, they go out to Morgantown to play West Virginia. And West Virginia, I believe, they got beaten their first game. So
they lost to Pitt.
They lost to Pitt. Okay. So that's an interstate rivalry, but that's a rivalry. I mean, those towns are closer together than I think they are
the
to
backyard
anywhere
brawl
else in the Big 12. I mean, that's the KUK state game for them. I mean, really, it is, because that's how close those are. Then after that, they go to Houston on the 17th, and Houston is ranked 25th right now. So if they manage to make a football game out of that one, we can probably really look to get excited. And
Mhm.
if they can make it to 2-1, and then they play Duke. So Duke last year handled them pretty effectively,
Yeah.
which was sad because Duke ended up in the very basement of the SEC. So it wasn't like they got beat by a good team. But so by the time they get to Iowa State on October 1st, I think we'll have an idea of what we're doing. And then 10-15 is when they play Oklahoma down in Norman. They've got Oklahoma and Baylor, and then Oklahoma State, those 3 games in a row. So 4 ranked teams as of right now on their schedule. 3 of them are in a row. But if they manage to get out of this West Virginia, Houston, Duke, Iowa State, TCU thing, and they're 4-2, something to that effect, I think that you can start maybe dreaming about bowl eligibility.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's it's nice to think about saying 4-2. What a nice thing to say. Just like even thinking it was just I don't know, like the talent seems like it's there, the hunger's there, the
Yeah.
competitive spirit's there. Yeah, and I think there's not a whole lot. Well, I mean, yeah, I can always get worse, but I just want to see momentum. I want to see competitiveness. I want to see I just want to see it look like the other schools that we watch play. They make drives that are interesting to look at and competitive.
Well,
So
they did what they were supposed to do against an FCS team for the first time, and I can't even remember. But I mean, the thing for me is they really passed the eye test on Friday night. I mean, they look like, yeah, they look like they should have looked in that game if you really think about it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic. They're only, they're 13.5-point dogs to West Virginia. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So yeah, again, I mean, this could all fall apart against West Virginia, but for the first time, and I can't remember when, make the comment about 4-2, and it could go south, but I don't feel crazy for saying it, if that makes sense.
Oh, I don't, I still don't look at the record yet, but the thing that, that I'm looking for and I've seen, or at least seen them avoid with Lance Leipold, is that snowball effect. When things just start to go wrong, the wheels just completely fall off, and we're seeing that less and less with Leipold. So I think they'll be competitive in Morgantown. I don't expect them to win, but I think they'll cover. I definitely feel confident about that.
Yeah, got it. All right. Okay, so next thing on the list, we have an NFL football game on right now. From what I'm watching, the Rams just scored based on the graphic that I saw up. I'm fairly certain Cooper Kupp just caught a touchdown pass. Gabe Davis caught a touchdown pass for the Bills. So let's see here. Yeah,
hey,
Cooper
guys.
Kupp has a touchdown pass. So looks like Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp picked up where they were. Josh Allen picked up where he was with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Both quarterbacks, as of right now, have a touchdown and interception, so they picked up where they were with that as well. So interesting that we have NFL football going on, but the important game of the week, the NFL game of the week, is our Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday at 3:25 Central Time, traveling down to Arizona. So, Chris, what are you most looking for out of the Chiefs in this game?
It's just, I think offensively, it's patience and efficiency, and then defensively, not giving up the big play. I mean, as excited as I am about the talent, the athleticism on the defensive side, it's very young, and I think they'll probably get got a few times against the Cardinals, but I definitely think you'll see you'll at least see a defense that will actually fly around, make some plays, and then hopefully what they do is they really tighten up later in the game. But yeah, I expect them to go in there and beat the Cardinals. I'm not too worried about that. Although I think it'll be a closer game than some people I've heard predicted so far. But I do think that they'll be in control in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I fully expect the offense to move fairly at will. I mean, the Cardinals had more discord in their offseason than I think most people not living in the Southwest or on the West Coast really know. You have the Kyler Murray contract drama. So he's going into his fourth season, correct? And he's
I
already,
think you're right. Yeah.
yeah, and he's already gotten his extension, which means that he made it clear that he wasn't tolerating playing out his rookie contract and his fifth year extension, which I understand that, but at the same time, that there's just eye test thing that goes on, and he's been talked about as a potential MVP, but I don't think that he's played for more than a month and a half, 2 months at anything close to that level. So there's a level of silliness with that. Lamar Jackson's in a similar boat, and I think that in a lot of ways just speaks to the caliber of the two different organizations, that they believe they can actually weather that type of storm. Then
Well,
add on
I
top
don't
of,
think anybody's questioning Lamar Jackson's, motivation and his
sure,
work
exactly,
off the field. Yeah.
exactly. And it's funny that you bring up motivation, because it comes out almost as soon as this contract is signed that the Cardinals put a rider in Kyler Murray's contract that he had to do 4 hours of film study a week. And that whole thing was just incredibly alarming, because I picture, if you're an NFL quarterback, I mean, let's take the stories of Tom Brady away and anybody that you hear about that's a film junkie. I I've always just had this idea in my mind that as an NFL quarterback, you put in 40 hours a week studying film. And that's before you get into any of the rest of the stuff that's your job. I mean, one of the things that the NFL always talks about is how much of a grind the season is, and then how you put a full year worth of work pretty much in a regular season. So the fact that they're mandating 4 hours is, one, alarming that they had to do that, or that they felt they had to do that, and two, that the number was that low. I mean, that just seems insane to me.
And it might actually speak to the fact that they start off strong. They seem to taper off as the year goes on. I think,
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not working as hard as you were in the off season during the regular season, like you said, people are going to catch up to you.
Well, and it also makes me question
Mhm.
how hard you're working in the first place, because
Yeah.
the first half of the season, you're the fastest kid on the playground, and halfway through everybody's banged up, your line isn't holding up and stuff like that, and you're not catching all the rookies on the other side of the ball. You're not catching the first year coordinators. I mean, I did a thing here recently for one of my Arrowhead One articles, and it was talking about how Andy Reid is in his 10th year with the Chiefs, and the average tenure of an NFL coach is 4.7 years, but 15 of the 32 coaches in the league are in their first or second season. And so you have the Andy Reid's, Pete Carroll's, Bill Belichick's, and then another just wave of 6 year guys like Sean McVay that are pulling that average up. When in reality, if you start pulling any kind of statistical deviations where you take the top and bottom off, I mean, that number is going to
Mhm.
start going down quickly, just based on some of the heaviness at the top and everything like that. So, yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray feasts at the beginning of the year, and then everybody catches up with him for the season. So, I mean, you mentioned you don't want to see the defense make too many horrible mistakes. I think that at least one time we're going to see George Karlaftis over pursue and not seal the edge, and there's going to be somebody, probably Kyler Murray, that takes off and runs farther than you want it to be.
Mhm.
And so preventing the big play and limiting it, the comment that you made to me means that he only gets one or two 20-yard runs, and that's all the farther he gets. So that's I'm looking for the same thing. Other Discord, DeAndre Hopkins isn't playing. He's got a 6-game
Mhm.
PED suspension, which is a horrible look for a guy who was hurt all last year.
Yeah. Yeah. And their defense, from what I hear, is not good. Eric Eager was pretty quickly throws the linebackers for the Cardinals under the bus. You've heard him talk about Isaiah Simmons and the other linebackers. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's just something weird though when the Chiefs play the Cardinals in the regular season. I still can't get 2018 out of my head when they should have rolled the Cardinals, and the Cardinals really gave them a hell of a game at Arrowhead. So, you know, Andy Reid's great at coming out in week one, but then for some reason the Cardinals under Cliff Kingsbury seem to come out strong too. So I don't know. I do, again, I think the Chiefs will control the game later on, but I think it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for the first half.
Brian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking what are you guys' thoughts? Was preseason looked good when there was like the main unit doing their thing, right? Did you feel that way? I feel like that's what was kind of the consensus, if I recall correctly. So it seems like everyone's tuned up. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be everyone's going to be like, what's it called? Kind of getting the motion of a fast game, like the fast full speed. All right, we're hitting as hard as we possibly can, doing what we're paid to do kind of system. Yeah, we're gonna learn a lot that first half. I mean, yeah, it could be painful, but I kind of have the feeling that it's like what I don't know, what's it 2 seasons ago where we just we got off so hot in the first 8 minutes and it's just so much fun when we keep it going. I'm looking for that to happen. That's what I want to happen. I think that's going to happen. And I also want to say, guess who my fantasy football quarterback is this year again?
You got Mahomes.
Chad Henne.
Kirk Cousins.
There you go.
Kirk Cousins, baby.
Right.
There you go.
Oh.
I mean, here's one thing that's just a principle of life. History favors Matt Damon. That's just the fact.
Matt Damon?
Yeah, Matt Damon. So fortune favors Matt Damon, and fortune favors Matt Damon. That's what it is, not history. Fortune favors Matt Damon.
And how do you like them apples and stuff?
Exactly. But week one favors the prepared, and Andy Reid has an incredible record, which, I think more than anything means that he takes his teams into the first game of the season prepared. And I just have a hard time believing he's not going to be more prepared than what Cliff Kingsbury is able to do with the amount of churn that he had in the offseason. So
isn't the coach new guy for the Cardinals? Or
this is
his third
or fourth season.
Yeah, he coached Patrick Mahomes in college.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I saw a news story on that, and this is going to be Mahomes meets his coach from Texas Tech. I'm like, was it? Yeah. I don't know who Cardinals' coach is, so I'm like, was he new? Did they pick up a gig or something? But if has it been that long since we played the Cardinals?
This is his fourth season that we're getting into, and that's what I was saying. So looking at the tenures, the top 5 tenured coaches have an average of 15.54 years. And that's Belichick at 23, Tomlin at 16, Harbaugh at 15, Carroll at 13, Reid at 10. Then if you look at the next 8, you have an average of 5 years, and that goes from Sean McDermott with 6 all the way down to Matt LaFleur on his 4th season. You have
Sean McDermott's like 14, right?
Exactly. You have 4 3-year guys, and then you have 15 1- and 2-year guys, which just speaks to the level of turnover in the NFL.
Tough gig, not for long. NFL, not for long, and tough game. But that's how it is. That's why you get paid what you get paid while you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else about this game besides score prediction?
No, I'm just ready for it to happen.
All right. What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go with, I'm going to say 27-20 Chiefs.
Okay. Brian, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go, 20-10 Chiefs.
Okay. I'm going 31-20.
All right.
I think the Chiefs put up some numbers.
Oh, baby. Let's see what happens. What did we say? What was the spread, or what are they betting odds on who's what?
I think it's 6 now. The Cardinals are in 6. It keeps going up.
Yeah. So the Chiefs are favored by 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it opened at 3.5.
You can gamble in Kansas now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. I mean, this is the first week is always just weird. I mean,
it is.
Yeah. So what we have not done to this point is go through the entire regular season schedule. and pick a record. So let's
You know,
run down that. I think
can we do that next time? I don't. That's gonna take like an hour and a half.
we'll make it quick. Okay,
Yeah,
so I
we'll
think
go
we
quick
all
fire
picked. I think we all picked the Chiefs to beat the Cardinals this week. So what we'll do is we'll only talk about the ones where one of us is calling a loss. So week 2, the Amazon Prime debut, Chiefs hosting the Chargers on Thursday, 9:15. I'm going win for the Chiefs.
I actually went through the schedule and did this, and I'm pretty sure I said win since it's at home on a short week. So yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. All right. Week 3, the game that I'm attending against the Indianapolis Colts. That is on the 25th. It's a noon game. I'm expecting to see a win as well. The Chiefs in September versus Matt Ryan taking over for the Colts. Just Chiefs.
I called this one a loss. I mean, the Colts are just the good defense. I think they'll get a big test in Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. If it's going to be a loss, he's going to score 4 touchdowns in one game for Pokai.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my reasoning.
All right, Brian, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go win, but I want you to have a good time of the game, Josh.
No. Hey, thank you, Brian.
The last time you were there, it was not so fun.
All right. No, it was not. Oh my God.
Oh no. Don't tell me it was 9 years ago.
It was exactly
We were
9
there
years
9
ago.
years ago. I was
No.
driving there. That was rough.
Yep. Worst fans I ever dealt with too. That was the one where somebody tried to start a fight with Misty when she was holding Viv, who was 6 months old. So
Cool.
Yeah, biggest white trash I've ever dealt with at a sporting event was a Colts game. All right, week 4 at the Buccaneers. I think they avenge that Super Bowl and go 4-0 in September.
Yeah, me too.
I think so as well.
Okay. All right. Week 5, hosting the Ruckin' Faders. Win.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah, win.
All right. Week 6, the Buffalo Bills at home in the first time since, really the last time they could have physically played. The 13-second game and what should be a preview of a playoff game. I'm going with the Chiefs to win. Go 6-0.
Jeez, I think they grind out. I'm taking L on that one. If there's going to be a loss, it's probably going to be there. But
yeah, I'm drinking the Bills Kool-Aid this year. I got the Bills winning that game.
Okay. All right. Week 7 is in San Francisco. A lot of folks are calling this a Super Bowl preview.
what?
Yeah.
They keep on telling us the Super Bowl we won last time against them was a Mickey Mouse one. So
Sure.
What is it? Are they good? Are they not? I guess that was a few years ago. It's a different squad now, but it's
a different squad. It's no less annoying. I think they take a loss out in the San Fran area on this one to drop to 6-1. You guys are going to see as I start going through this. I'm thinking they start strong and they finish strong and have the midseason swoon all of 2019 season. So, Chris, what say you about the Niners game?
I think I have the Niners game as a loss.
Okay.
I'm going to go W just to buck the trend.
There you go.
All right. Week 8, Tennessee at home. This is a revenge game for me. I think they win that one and win it big against a regressed Tennessee team.
Yeah, and it needs to happen for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't think Tennessee's going to be that good this year.
Yep. All right. Jags in the next week on that would be week 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Is that young dude still their quarterback?
Trevor Lawrence, yes, that you made the Jets video about. Yes. They're not losing. They're not losing to the Jags at home.
Yeah, that young. I mean, I guess they're all young, but they got that exceptionally young person. Yeah, they're not gonna beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, definite win. here for the Chiefs.
I mean, unless their defensive line's allowed to use
Okay.
guns and shotguns or some shit.
So I got to walk back one of my predictions here. I got a loss for the Bucks, so I have them starting. I got them starting 4-4, I think.
Okay. Which was what happened
5-4,
when they
yeah.
won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They went 4-4, 5-4, 6-4. All
So
right.
I got about 5-4 right now.
So then we get to the next 2 weeks in LA, which is the Sundays before and after Thanksgiving. So we have at the Chargers, and then they go back home and play the Rams. I'm going back-to-back losses on those, just doing these two together. They're going to lose in LA to the Chargers, then I think the Rams come in and beat them.
Damn.
Yeah, I got a loss to the Chargers, win against the Rams.
I'm going to say beat the Chargers, lose the Rams.
Okay. And you had what, Chris? Lose to the Chargers, beat the Rams?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then they play the Bungles next, Cincinnati.
Ooh.
That one's out in Cincinnati. I plan on going out to that one as well. This is another revenge game. I think they win that one, and they win it handily.
Yeah, they should have won it last time, and they should win this one.
I think the Bengals are going to have a letdown this year, and I think the Chiefs are going to take out some frustration and win.
They cashed in all their 4th and 22s last year. They can't have any more of those.
Yep.
Use them up in last year.
All right. 12-11 at Denver, Sunday Night Football. At some point, the Broncos are going to beat the Chiefs. I don't think it's happening this year. It's a win.
I got it as a loss. I have it as the last loss of the season.
I'm going to say win.
Okay. Next week, Texans. I'm not even going to ask you guys. Week after that, Seahawks. I'm not even asking that one as well.
I'm pretty sure you can start Shane Buechele against the Texans and still win that game.
Pretty sure too. Yeah. Okay, so week 17 is versus the Broncos at home. Week 18 is at LA against the Raiders. I think they're both wins, and they close the season out strong.
Yeah, they atone for the loss in Denver, and then I think there's going to be something to play for against Vegas, which will probably be the division in my opinion, because I think I got 11-6. So yeah, win-win.
Yep, you have 11-6 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Two W's.
Okay, so Brian has a 15-2 team. I have a 14-3 team. Chris has an 11-6 team.
All right, I'm the pessimist.
You're probably realism and pessimism.
I'm the Jeff Chadilla of the group here. So yeah.
Wow,
none of us are Bart Scott and saying that they're gonna miss the playoffs.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and you know what? Okay. Here's the thing. I've said this. I don't even know how many times, but I just do not believe that he actually believes that.
I think a lot of people in that industry don't believe what they're saying. That's
exactly.
They know it'll get shared a lot, and people are gonna be like in the comment section getting engagement and making the algorithm.
And I also believe that networks make people make characters. Like nothing's ever gonna convince me that Skip Bayless believed in Tim Tebow at the level that he went on TV and did.
It's like wrestling on some level. It's like that. Like you have a heel and you have like a hero, or you have like it's essentially like wrestling. That's but like wrapped in sports. I think and it's not like all the time. It comes out at certain moments. They know to be the wrestler in certain situations. I assume you can't make a whole career making crazy nonsensical sayings in the sports world and expect you to be on television, because people are going to not take you as seriously.
Skip Bayless. I mean, Skip Bayless, if you're talking about professional wrestling, that show that he and Stephen A. Smith did for the number of years before he went to do the same show with Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless is the heel of professional sports commentary. I 1000% believe that.
He kind of morphed into it over time too, because I mean,
he wasn't always that way, but Tim Tebow is when he morphed. It was Tim Tebow.
It
And
was around Tim Tebow and when LeBron James, I think, made his first finals because that's when
so
he really
yeah,
started to go nuts. But yeah,
he made his career on
yeah,
hating LeBron James
yeah,
and loving Tim Tebow. And I mean the two moments that stick out, because you brought up a good point with LeBron James, was just how he doubted LeBron James even after he won a title with the Heat.
yeah,
And that second one, he's just like, oh, there's no way this is going to happen. LeBron just isn't good enough, and that's just it. But the other one was I distinctly remember a thing where Stephen A. Smith had to sit there with a straight face and tell Skip
yes,
Bayless he was wrong for buying into Tim Tebow, and Skip Bayless is on a laptop tweeting about Tim Tebow and arguing with Stephen A. Smith via tweet. It's like this is the ESPN version of jumping the shark. That's what this
yeah.
is. You know, the only thing he was missing was water skis and a leather coat.
Hey. the I did not know that. I mean, yeah, but back to it's essentially wrestling. Like it's
Mhm.
like is it make believe kind of world. So, and I guess it makes it more entertaining than if everyone like played it safe and held it close to your chest. Like that's not. It's fun to make fun of somebody, or it's fun to make the drama
Exactly.
happen and goof on them. So that's why it's
Exactly.
fun.
All right. So it is halftime of this Bills Rams game, tied 10-10. Let's go through and predict winners for all these games. Good to go?
Yeah, let's do
Rams, Bills. Rams are at home. Brian, go.
Rams, Bills.
Chris.
it. Bills.
Rams pull this off. All right. New Orleans at Atlanta. It's New Orleans. Brian.
New Orleans.
Saints.
Okay. San Francisco at the Bears. Chris.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Brian.
San
There you go.
Francisco.
All right. Here is probably one of the most compelling games of the season. This is one of those games that I don't know that I would bet someone else's money on. And it is Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. I'm going to go with Cincinnati, but with a massive amount of caution. There's just the whole commentary that Chris made about the Bengals taking a step back. I think they're going to as well. And there's not a good air around Pittsburgh, but Mike Tomlin still coaches that team. And I don't know. I'm going with the Bengals, but I won't be surprised if the Steelers win that game.
You're kind of talking me into the Steelers here, but go ahead, Brian.
Bengals.
Yeah. Common sense says the Bengals, but yeah, I think the Steelers are going to make it really close. And I think Trubisky's going to at least give them enough competency to keep that game close.
Yeah. All right. Eagles at the Lions. The Eagles are another team that a pretty substantial amount of experts are picking to play in the Super Bowl. They play at the Lions. I seriously consider taking this as my upset of the week, just because there's just something that's giving me a vibe that Detroit's going to start out of the gate hot. But that Eagles team, I just think is too good. And Jalen Hurts is going to be playing with a massive chip. So I'm going Eagles. Brian.
Okay, well then I'm going to take the upset alert with the Lions, Detroit
Cool.
Lions.
All right.
Yeah,
Chris?
Lions. I'm taking the Lions.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're crazy. Okay, Chris. Here's a tough one to pick. Patriots at Dolphins. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna take the Patriots.
Brian.
Yeah.
Patriots.
I agree with you. I'll make that 3. I think the Dolphins have plenty of time to ruin something later, and that's where that's going to go. Baltimore at New York. What do we have in New York, and how motivated is Lamar? Brian, where are you going with this one?
Yeah, I usually pick Baltimore in these situations. I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Chris.
Baltimore by a landslide.
I agree with that. All right. Interesting game. Jacksonville Jaguars against the Washington Commanders. These are two teams that could take a step forward or a major step backwards. We have the second year, which is really possibly the first year with Trevor Lawrence. I'm not positive he had a coach last year at all. And so he's also going to get his Travis Etienne back. On the other hand, I think Ron Rivera is a hell of a coach, but I don't know that I have anything good to say about Carson Wentz as a quarterback. So, Chris, what are you thinking for Jacksonville at Washington?
I'm going to go with the home team on this one. I think, yeah, I think you have two good coaches. I do like the Jaguars' offensive talent, but I also think the Commanders are going to be kind of like the Colts were last year with Wentz. So I'm gonna say that they're going to win at home.
Sure. All right, I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence coming out and making a statement at the beginning of the season. Him and Doug Peterson, and I'll throw out an even wild one. I think that Christian Kirk, the guy who is consistently lampooned for destroying the wide receiver market and being the first domino that took Tyreek Hill out of town, catches 2 touchdown passes. Brian, what do you got?
I like that too. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, and now we have the battle of the Baker Mayfields, Cleveland at Carolina. This is another one of those games that I don't think that I would bet terrorist money on.
It's a pick 'em too.
There's not
a line on it right now.
For
him. Yeah, Panthers. I don't care.
I'm going with the Browns. Yeah, Brian.
Panthers.
Okay. Colts at Houston. Anybody want to pick Houston? Moving on.
I think the better prediction is, will Houston win a game this year?
I think they're going to win 2. I can't tell you which ones they are. I just think they're going to win 2. Lovie Smith is a good enough motivator to get 2 wins out of him.
Oh yeah, they actually have a halfway competent head coach for once. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. New York Giants, Tennessee Titans. This one's in Tennessee. One thing that I always look at that's really interesting is I always like to look. I'm on the ESPN site, and I always like to look at where tickets are starting for these. And if you want to see where fan bases are, to get into that Jets game, it's $44 to get into MetLife Stadium. It's $32 to get into FedEx Field in Washington. It's $64 to get into Carolina, $21 to get into Houston. This one is actually shocking. It is $57 to get into the Titans Stadium in Nashville. So I don't think that we're the only ones thinking the Titans take a step back. That said, I think that they beat a Daniel Jones-led Giants team that ain't any good. Brian, what do you think?
Who are you picking?
Titans.
Yeah, Titans, yeah.
Yeah, Titans. I think the Giants are going to be awful.
All right, this should be a good game. Packers at Vikings, and you could call this one an upset special. I believe the Packers should be favored. Packers are favored by 1.5, which more or less means that on the road they're favored by, more than a field goal. So I think Aaron Rodgers comes out motivated and hallucinating, and they beat Brian's Kirk Cousins-led Vikings, but Cousins gets some fantasy points.
Yay. That's all we care about. Yeah,
Brian, what do you think?
Green Bay.
Chris is picking the Vikings.
Give me the Vikings.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We already picked the Chiefs to win. So here's an interesting division matchup: the Vegas Raiders and the LA Rams.
No, the Chargers.
Chris is with the Chargers. Brian, what are you thinking?
Chargers.
Okay, and I would say that I'm going to go with Derek Carr coming out of the gate fast.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Tampa Bay at Dallas. Brian, what do you think? Is Tom Brady going to take out all of his marital frustration on Trayvon Diggs and feast on him?
Dallas? I think Dallas is going to make some noise this first game, so I'm going to go Dallas.
I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one.
Guys are out of your mind. Bucks. All right, and then one of the worst matchups of the week, Monday Night Football, is the Broncos at the Seahawks.
Just what America
Let's
wanted.
see. So Russell Wilson will go for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns. In a loss? No, that's not going to happen with the Broncos.
Yeah.
Broncos.
Yep. No, I think the Broncos come out, which just means that we're gonna have our coming dose of the Bronco fans that we didn't have to hear from for the past.
Hey, bring them on. I can't wait.
Yeah. No, I generally agree with that. All right. So I think that we're all, for the most part, picking winners and stuff like that, which means we're going to come back and, nobody knew what the hell we were talking about. So, good to go there. If you had to pick a confidence level of a win, so let's say we're in an eliminator challenge situation. Chris, what is the most confident winning team or winning team that you're most confident in? Team you're picking to win.
Let me look at this real quick again. Titans.
Okay, Brian.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Who's ever playing the Houston?
So that's where I'm at. Colts over Houston. I mean, Chris specifically brought up, are the Texans going to win a game? I mean, I don't think that there's more money in the bank than Houston getting rolled something fierce.
Well, they're trying and save them from down the line, I guess. But
$21 a seat tickets. Here's the thing. I don't know what we're going to get out of the Colts. I generally sit on the, I think they're probably going to be good type of line, but just because I'm picking against Houston doesn't mean I don't get to do that again. So,
oh, you're right.
Yeah. So there we go. All right. Anything else to get into, or ready to get into last takes?
I think I'm good to go.
Okay. All right. Brian, do you have something good to kick us off?
Final takes. I really think here. I really don't have anything loaded up here yet. I should have had something. I don't know, Josh, do you have anything?
Yeah. Okay. So this last Sunday, I went to my third professional wrestling show of the year. I went to AEW All Out, which I understand is their biggest pay-per-view, and it's their WrestleMania. And I just never thought that I would enjoy going to professional wrestling shows as much as I do, but they're just quite a bit of fun to sit and drink beer and forget about life for a while. So if you have one coming through town, I'd recommend it. The AEW shows are cheaper. I can't say that one is more entertaining than the other, because the WWE stuff's pretty awesome too.
Yeah, wrestling shows are awesome. I've seen one of those before, and they are. Do they have the what's it called? Macho Libre. You see that? Did they have any of those wrestlers from Mexico do their
Lucha
thing?
Libres. Well,
Lucha
so
Libre.
AEW is working with the Japanese league, so there's been a lot of Japanese guys coming over.
Yeah, that stuff's cool, and that's like acrobatic. That's like when there's really a lot of fun. It goes really fast.
Well, in AEW, that's part of. I don't know if Shad Khan, the Jags owner, is actually the head there, but it's definitely his family, the Khan family, that does it. And I'll tell you, watching Urban Meyer last year in Jacksonville and watching this, it seems like he cross-pollinated his sports a little too much.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Well, can I do my take now?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, good friend of ours, Eric O'Shea.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. His mom passed away a few days ago, and if you know Eric really well, he's I believe he's the funniest comedian. I mean, I'm partial because he's my friend, but yeah, I mean, he's gone viral many times. Look him up, Eric O'Shea Comedy. He has a dry bar comedy. It's 100% clean, so you can watch it with the family. And he's definitely a great person. And yeah, his mom, if you ever if you see him talk about, he's been on when he's been on America's Got Talent, and whenever he did like the interview, he made it about how much he loves his mom, how it's his best friend and his mentor, and how important she is. And she unfortunately passed away, and I think somewhere in the mid 80s or upper 80s. So thoughts and prayers to him and his family, and
Yeah.
Godspeed, Mrs. O'Shea.
Yeah.
Yeah, thoughts are with you. Okay. So for me, Serena Williams ended up playing her last U.S. Open, I believe last weekend. It's, at least for me personally, I every time I go back and look at just the span of her career, I mean, it's just, she's not just one of the greatest women's tennis players of all time. She's just one of the greatest tennis players of all time. One of the greatest, American athletes to ever live. 23 Grand Slam titles, singles titles, which is the most during the open era. She had one hell of a career too with her sister playing doubles. Then won, let's see how many they won. 14, it looks like, Grand Slam titles, and then looks like 4 gold medals as well, 3 in doubles and 1 in singles. But I mean, she is just I mean, it's amazing that she still played at such a high level for as long as she did. Her first Grand Slam she won was actually back in 1999. So she's been literally doing this since the 20th century. And yeah, it's, obviously the tennis world's going to miss her a lot, but also just, I mean, the sports world is going to miss her a lot, but she's still going to have a presence. I don't doubt. And, just my hats off to her for just a fantastic career.
Good night,
Yeah.
Chiefs Kingdom. We will see you on the other side of 1-0.